Welcome to Spain and the region of Valencia, the home of the IAME X30 Winter Cup since 2016. One of the most beautiful destinations in Europe, the city of Valencia, World Capital of Design in 2022, is a marvel of architecture and enjoyment for all. A perfect place for an exciting start to a new IAME X30 season. With a record entry of 204 drivers, the quest for victory will be merciless in Valencia. But who will grab the trophies and the new cash prizes up to €1,000 for the top 3 drivers on the podium? The Kartodromo Lucas Guerrero, made of 1.4 km and 16 turns, provides a perfect mix of long corners, fast lines and tight chicanes. It starts with a long straight, followed by a never-ending turn 1 into a more technical sector. This is where angry fields get squeezed together while trying to gain positions. The layout concludes by a long back straight, where drivers go flat out, on the way to the final chicane where only the brave dive on the curb. All categories use IAME X30 engines, 125cc for juniors and seniors and 60cc for minis. The tires are provided by 2 brands, MG for both junior and senior and Comet for the minis, while fuel is supplied by Fanta. Now, it's time to go racing and may the best shine in the Spanish sunlight.
Mini X30 then will be started today. The youngest drivers aged 8 to 12 years old, using the WaterSwift X30 engine. 59cc displacement with 10 horsepower, 7 Newton meters of torque, and of course the fuel provided by Panta Kartron 102. The Comet tyres as well being used. 2 sets of the slicks, 2 sets of the wets that they'll have to use throughout the entirety of the weekend. And let's see what they're going to be going on there. But of course, drivers will have to weigh that 110 kilos. As the race went on, business on track as usual started on Wednesday and Thursday for the minis at the first of the series on free practice, preparing for the qualifying on Friday afternoon. Against the clock, Britain's Archie Lovatt drew first blood before Spain's Nuvola Morales took the overall pole position. On Saturday's 6 qualifying heats kept the drivers busy and the audience on the edge of their seat. Ruthless battles and the fine moves were indeed aplenty in a field always known for its high excitement. While Lovatt and Morales confirmed their initial intentions with a victory each, it was both the British driver Jesse Phillips who had the last say of the day, with 2 victories and an overall lead and pole position for the Super Heat 1, with France's Stan Fagot picking up pole position for the second race on Sunday morning. The Super Heats themselves all the way throughout the day saw Jesse Phillips take the win from Stan Fagot and Nuvola Morales, who will be starting 1, 2, 3 for the final. Here we go then, the grandstands are full, the tram lines are full, the lights are out, and away we go, down in towards turn 1, and it's a great start from Phillips. Nuvola Morales on the grass on the inside gets swamped, and is squeezed, but is able to keep all 4 wheels on the track as they whiz their way round. Turns 1 and 2 into 3 for the first time, and the 941 up. It is Benjamin Magna, who's come forward from way back in the grid, is now up into second place as they whiz their way through the infield.
Oh, and someone spinning and a couple of contacts over there at the back end of the grid. I was going to say it was a clean start, but 3 drivers involved in the 951. This going to be missing. This is Alvaro Perello. And watch out for the move on the inside from Morales. He had enough, and the Spaniard just made his way through into the chicane. And that opened the door for the back as well. I think the rivals is going to be overtaken by Tsenik Babisek. Oh, he pushed away. Watch out for any contact in the mix.
And this is getting interesting. What's the gap now? 0.6 of a second now across the line. This is getting interesting. It may not look close now, but trust me, after 1 or 2 more laps, they are going to have a great battle for that lead as well, so don't excuse yourself, but yeah, Daniel Miron.
This is for the lead.
Yeah, this is for the lead. So Stan Fagot now has taken the lead because he looked behind and he could see that they had caught up, and they have caught up now. It's a 4-way battle. Phillips responds instantly though, fights back in the lead. We've still got 5 laps left of this race, and now down the inside, Fagot down into 4th place as the rest of them follow through as well now. So Nuvolini up into P2, but Stan Fagot is fighting back fiercely. The Spaniard of Nuvolina Morales pushes him out the way and gets in front of the Frenchman and moves up into P3. Goes Phillips. Nuvolini follows him, and Morales gone the outside line, trying to get the switchback move once again, failing to do so. Stan Fagot goes through into P3, gets up into that one and instantly says, right, let's stop fighting, let's catch them, we've got to close that gap. This is brilliant stuff, but the pressure is piling on Jesse Phillips' shoulders as he negotiates with Nuvolini behind him.
Yeah, he's going defensive on the way to the chicane. Watch out! And Stan Fagot on the inside. Fantastic move by the Frenchman, who goes from 4th to P2 in the matter of 1 corner.
Several different racing lines. The concertina effect kicks in. Everyone squeezing and up onto 2 wheels there. The 995, I think that was on the 985. It is Daniel Miron, who's already got a nose cone penalty, remember. He can't win this race unless he can get at least 5 seconds in front of this entire field, which at this moment in time doesn't look like that's going to happen. Into the chicane they go. Nuvolini back down the inside, back into 3rd place as they go side by side with Stan Fagot.
And nothing is written down. A little bit of a push from Stan Fagot. Watch out for the front fairing. You don't want it to be misplaced. Contact!
It's Miron off the track, and he had a nose cone penalty, but it's all the way down in the back of the field now. That's a disaster, but a breakaway now. It's the UK versus France. It's Jesse Phillips versus Stan Fagot. Fagot with a huge advantage over the field behind, so it's a 2-horse battle now in these last few corners. There's only 1 position left to get for Fagot, and can he do it? Phillips stops the kart on the apex into the final corner, and there is no space for Stan Fagot. Britain's Jesse Phillips wins the IAME Winter Cup here at Valencia in 2023, and what a final that was, all the way to the end. I didn't think it was going to go the Britain's way.
Fantastic performance. Jesse Phillips for 0.2 of a second on the line. Stan Fagot gave it everything. He was there ready for the charge, but there was no way to go into the chicane. Here's the classification in full. As we said, Phillips, Fagot, Tsenek Babisek, Nuvola Morales in P5. A good recovery by Tsenek Rao in P6 from Zach Zhu, Archie Lovatt, Daniel Miro Lorente, as well as Leonidas Peruzzi in the top 10. On the 3rd step of the podium from Republic Czech, Tsenek Babisek. 2nd step of the podium from Spirit Racing and France, Stan Fagot. Finally, the winner of this year's IAME Winter Cup from the UK, Jesse Phillips. Jesse Phillips, can you talk us through that result, that crazy final of yours?
Yeah, it was a very hard race. All the drivers were very good competition, so they were very good drivers. So it's going to be a hard season. So yeah, I just need to keep winning, and yeah, hopefully it stays the same.
Junior X30, the next category taking to the circuit, and a little bit about them. Ages 12 to 14 years and 145 kilograms with kart and driver. They have to meet that minimum weight. The tyres they're using are the harder compound MG. It's the slicks, it's the SH, and of course the wets, the SW. They get 2 sets of them over the weekend. Fuel, once again, provided by Panther and have been brilliant across the weekend. And the engines, of course, the X30 Juniors, it's the 125cc, 123cc, 21 horsepower across the engine as well. The highlights from today, after Friday's qualifying sessions and 2 morning warm-ups on Saturday, drivers were primed and ready to kickstart the 2023 season, with Thomas Quink starting on top of the timing tables. With the junior class having over 50 drivers entered this year's Winters Cup, 6 seats laid ahead of them on a very busy Saturday. At the end of the day, we saw 5 different race winners though. We saw Sebastian Mins, Sandro Perez, Raul Zarin, and Thibaut Ramicas and Harrison Mackie to put them in a perfect position for Sunday's Superheats. The Superheats, they came across as well. And what a Superheat they were, being slightly longer, but the question fell down to who was doing what with tyre strategy. That was the main one. As the races begin, you can see the differences of the field, with drivers flying through the field from the back of the grid, but Spain's Sandro Perez starts on pole position from this final, and Sebastian Mins will start alongside. Let's go then into the tram lines. Is it green flag first time? Yes, it is. Here we go. Tuck it in and get it down to the inside line as they go in towards turn 1. Sandro Perez holds the inside line and maintains the race lead. Oh, and a big one in the mid-pack, and 3 karts involved and off into the barriers. It's one of the victory lane, and it looks like an MDC kart as well. It is the 2-0, the 20 who comes back onto the track, but will be at the back of the grid. That was Javier Buesca. behind the two that were battling further behind of Zanzano and Ramakas. You've then got three of the Fusion drivers line astern. You've got Mackie, you've got Lloyd, and you've got Graham line astern, and they're trying to get involved in this scrap now as well, as down the inside looks the number 22 of Jensen Graham. Fails to get the move done, slots back behind, so the Fusion trio will have to work together here to try and close that gap. But now it's time for the number 51. It's time for Freddie Lloyd to have a go, and Harrison Mackie goes through as well.
Work with each other. Around the inside goes the driver from Barlin, Spain, Hugo Martin.
Down the inside, change for fourth place as Freddie Lloyd overtakes Raul Zanzarin. Ramakas try and close that gap. Every sector he goes, he improves, he gets faster and faster, and the gap is now down to 0.6 of a second. Heats earlier on where he was fighting off two of the Victory Lane drivers, Sacha Van Paposh and Cathal Clark, as a change for third places. Down the inside goes Raul Zanzarin on Sebastian Mins. Sebastian immediately fighting back and down the outside and switching positions. Left, right and centre goes Freddie Lloyd, trying to find any position he can, but Sebastian Mins back down the inside, holds on to third place, but not for much longer, as again Zanzarin fights back. Zanzarin goes defensive through turn one, but again Sebastian Mins switches to the outside. A bit of contact between the two of them, and Mins goes through. Sebastian Mins goes through into third place, but once again Zanzarin back down the inside at turn three. Carbon copy of what they did on the lap before, and now here comes Freddie Lloyd back round the outside to try and get the switch back through. No, he can't find the position. Zanzarin just had the momentum there to hold on to the space, and again an up and over, and Sebastian Mins, his chances of a podium are out.
To watch out, it's the final lap. Tibor Ramakas is going for it. He tried on the outside, a little bit of a push over there. There was nowhere to go on the other side of the track. This is the battle for the win. Oh, contact!
Sandro Perez getting huge contact from Ramakas there, and it looked like the Spaniards' race was nearly over. Out of the final corner, Timo Ramakas for Belgium crosses the line to win the Junior X30 final in the IAME Winter Cup in 2023 of Valencia.
Here's the classification in full for you guys, with Tibor Ramakas in front of Sandro Perez. Then we have Freddie Lloyd, Raul Zanzarin, Sacha Van Papenburg in P5. Good recovery, 12 positions gained for the Dutchman, followed by Hugo Marti, Thomas Kinsey, Jensen Graham, Daniel Dalakian. P10 is Harry Bartley. Third place for Freddie Lloyd from Fusion Motorsport. Another strong result from the British team. Congratulations, Freddie. Sandro Perez, a second of the junior final for the MDC Racing kart. Congratulations, Sandro. And finally, his first win in the Winter Cup, a perfect start to a brand new season. The trophy for Tibor Ramakas. Raconte-nous un petit peu ta finale, mon cher Thibaut. Première grande victoire de la Winter Cup, ça doit faire plaisir, évidemment.
Oui, ça fait très plaisir. C'était une finale ardue, mais ça a bien été pour moi et j'espère continuer. Et merci à K, ma famille, Carte République, ACB.
Senior X30 is the next category to make their way out into the circuit. The oldest group of drivers, 14 years plus and 158 kilograms of kart and driver. The MG tyres again being used for this category, but it's the softer compound. They get their two sets throughout. Panther again providing the fuel for the weekend, and of course the engines being the X30 125cc's, 123cc, and of course the 30 brake horsepower and 19.5 Newton meters of torque. With record entries for this year's IAME Winter Cup, the senior category saw the biggest grids with over 100 drivers doing battle. Both Friday and Saturday were action-packed for the class, with qualifying and heats at the end of play. On Friday, Dimitri Rativ, though, would end qualifying on pole. Saturday saw a staggering 12 qualifying heats across a hectic day in the Spanish sunshine, with Ian Enkmans being the most successful, following by Ruben Moya, Andy Rattel and Daniel Macia. With the hoops super heats looming on Sunday, tyres became the main focus once again in this category, with the field chopping and changing, and we saw some big names at the back of the grid. But the names that found themselves at the front, Ian Enkmans, Ruben Moya and Andy Rattel, would be starting on the front two rows in this final. Stay tuned, stay with us. In into the tram lines we go. Green flag goes out and into turn one. Great start from the Belgian driver, hugging the inside line. Ian Enkermans maintains the lead, but the outside line gets swamped as they all try to file their way through. 3 wide in the background, but everyone getting through the first few corners unscathed, but not at turn 3 as 3 carts take to the dirt and come back onto the track. Not sure who they were, but everyone still running in this race, but so far so good. Ian Enkermans doesn't lead the way. Who's that's in the lead now? Is that Andy Rattel? It is. The Frenchman leads the way in the early stages as more dust gets kicked up and 2 cuts off. That looks like Natalia Granada is one of them as well. And who is the other driver that's off the track? It was the 231 that's gone off the track.
Going cross country, watch out, another switch on Andy Rattel. Ian Enkermans launches attack, diving through on the inside out of turn number 1, and we seem to have lost Riccardo Cirelli.
And Brandon Carr, it was the Brit Brandon Carr who were doing a sterling job earlier on in the superheats. Unfortunately now out of the final, the Brit will be unhappy with that one. Evan Gilter in the 204, now up into 3rd place. Well, I said 3rd place, not anymore, because Ellie Goldstein in the 201 comes through and now takes 3rd place in front of Gilter. And Gilter now will probably now work together with Goldstein. Not if Andy Rattel's got anything to say about it. Rattel goes through. So
2 drivers under the same team. MDC, watch out not to do anything unwise, and Ruben Moya takes advantage of the battle and goes through for P9.
As he tries to go down the inside there, he does manage to get past Paul Kowski.
Aaron Garcia is tumbled down the order, and there's a switch for 2nd place. This is for the lead, my apologies. Ian Enkermans in the lead once again. And as I was saying, Enkermans didn't put maybe as much stress on his tires as the other drivers having to recover from further back on the field. He won 3 out of his 5 qualifying heats. He did good in the qualifying heat this morning, and that's another demonstration. Andy Rattel is now going for P2.
Moya now in front of it as down the inside there goes Enkermans on Gonzalez, and Rattel goes through to the back of this trio now. So Rattel down into 3rd, Gonzalez and Enkermans through then into 1st. Oh no, I thought there was a problem, and he's pulled off to the side. Rattel goes back through to 2nd, but Ellie Goldstein off the track and out of this final. Still a 5-way battle for the leaders. Ruben Moya comes into play now, gets past in Enkermans now and moves up into P3.
Onto Ian Enkermans and Evan Gilter to give him a hard time, and Andy Rattel as well going through for the lead, pushing a little bit. Hello Gonzalez, the door is open and everybody goes through. Disaster for the Spanish driver. Gonzalez was leading and now finds himself all the way down in P5.
Bolle is still there in 6th place from Mesia. Podcast, and now they change, and now Ruben Moya takes to the curb to avoid contact there and holds on to 2nd place. Evan Gilter still there, and a change for the lead as Rattel loses the place and goes down into P2 from Rattel, but Rattel went back in the lead and now he's lost the lead again and tries to dive down the inside, and there's almost contact between the 2 of them. Gilter comes through and almost makes contact with Rattel as well. Full potential of that car out of him, because you can see the cars are just backing up behind him here. Now Rattel's back down the inside. Now Moya's in a dangerous spot here. Gilter goes through, or he's side by side with him now. Are they going to go through? Now there's several karts involved. We've got the top 8 battling for the race lead, and Moya's in all sorts of trouble here. Gilter on the inside, he's got it covered, and is that Eloy Gonzalez back now into 3rd place? It is.
We're gonna have a couple of laps before a checkered flag. Watch out, on the outside goes Gilter. He's clipping the curb, crossing and taking the lead by crossing the chicane. What on earth happened?
Gilter leads, but is under investigation. So Moya's there, under attack from Enkermans, and Enkermans has got past. So Enkermans now up into 2nd place. Moya back up into 2nd place. Rattel switches back and makes contact between the 2 of them. Eloy Gonzalez back. Evan Gilter. No, it's not Gilter. It's the 281 that's getting involved. It's Daniel Macia. Yes, indeed it is. He comes through as well. Who's going to take this one? I don't know for 2nd.
As the checkered flag is waving for Evan Gilter, we follow what's happening into the chicane. Gilter celebrating already, and some of the MDC Racing drivers trying to gain positions. Aaron Garcia P9 in front of Clément Autran, but in the end He's the first one to cross the line. Evan Gilter, winner of the 2023 IAME Winter Cup, a couple of months after his success in the IAME World Final. First on the podium, on the third place, from France, round of applause for Evan Gilter! Second place, from Spain, please welcome Daniel Macia! From Spain as well, please welcome Ruben Moya! Podium for you. Talk us through that race and that weekend in general, because this has been quite mayhem out there on track.
Yes, I think it has been a tough race. We deserve the most, so I think I would like to thank my team, my family.
What a weekend we've had, ladies and gentlemen, but all good things coming to an end. It's time to conclude this first Winter Cup of the year. What have you made of the event this weekend, Anthony, for your first at Valencia?
Well, it's been absolutely incredible, hasn't it? We've enjoyed fantastic racing, 204 entries throughout this weekend, and I think the racing has been white knuckle all the way throughout. Absolutely fantastic. We've had 204 entries throughout, the biggest we've had in the Winter Cup. Brilliant to see it, and yeah, I think I've looked forward to this weekend for quite a while, and seeing it and being here for the first time has been amazing.
Top entry indeed, some of the best kart racing drivers in Europe, some of the best teams as well, and oh boy, the finals was something not to miss, as we were live for all three this Sunday afternoon. It has been fantastic with well-deserving winners, and not only the trophies this season, but for the first time cash prizes as well.
Yes indeed, €1,000 for the race winners in this one, a brilliant prize for these young drivers to take home with them. So I'm kind of jealous as well. I wish I was racing on this one, but of course they got the tickets as well. They get their entry into the next round, or the first round at Zuera. The start of the championship is coming up at the beginning of March. Really looking forward to that one. Make sure you stay tuned for that as well.
4 rounds of the IAME Euro Series. You don't want to miss that, so see you again in Spain, in Zuera.
We're here at the Circuit International Duera, one of the fastest circuits in Europe, and an amazing location to kick off an epic season of X30 karting.
We're about to find out in Zuera. Let's race! Who's it going to be on the grass? It's Kelleher! What a race! Macaulay Bishop is going to win in Duera! He's going to go side by side. Oh! And it's going to